Hey everybody, Scott Spreitzer here. It is Sunday, April 21st. DocSports.com free play coming up in a bit. We cashed 2 out of 3 yesterday overall, including the free winner in the NBA here. And also we did lose the 4-unit play at DocSports.com in the NBA, but we cashed our 7-unit Major League Baseball release, top-level play main event. 34-17 with those plays going back now the last several years. Just our second 7-unit release of this season. It was on Tampa Bay, by the way. They dropped down 1-0 early and then went on to the 10-1 easy victory. Thanks to those who jumped on board and were with us. We'll tell you what we got going a little bit later in this video as far as what's going on with Premium Play Sunday at DocSports.com, a big 5-unit best bet going on Sunday's card. But first, let's talk a little bit about last night's NBA. We squeak out the cover here with New Orleans, built that double-digit lead. Portland, give them credit, they fought hard till the very end, but weren't enough, and New Orleans was able to hang on to the cover in that game. Bye-bye Portland. Still can't win with this coaching staff in the postseason. They are going to have to try again next year, possibly with a new head coach calling the shots. Miami had the great first half against Philly. 32 points in the paint, 17 Philly turnovers in the first half. Philly kicks into gear about the 9-minute mark of the fourth quarter and goes on to the 106-102 win. If you did have Philly, some of you won, some of you pushed. I actually passed the game, but it was anywhere from 3.5 to 4 throughout the game. Houston gets rocked. Houston goes from 4 all the way up to 6.5 in their road game at Minnesota on Saturday. So if you relayed the points with Houston, obviously a lot of people did to move that 2.5 points from where it opened. Well, the books cashed those tickets as Minnesota got the outright blowout win in that one, even covered the first half. I mean, they just basically were outstanding from the get-go in that game against the Houston Rockets. Utah, Oklahoma City. We said in our series preview we thought this was going to be a very hard-fought series, maybe a 7-game series. What we didn't think is that Russell Westbrook would have this tough of a time against Utah. We thought it wouldn't come easy, but guys, he's 12 for 36. His last 2 games, 16.5 points per game. They have put the clamps on Russell Westbrook the last 2 games. Here's what OKC has to do. They've got to make it a point to get Russell Westbrook not just into the paint on offense, but get him into the restricted area. Utah is always one of the teams that's been able to keep him out of that restricted zone on the offensive end. They got to change that. They got to start getting him inside in the restricted area so he can get up to the basket or at least dish it off to an open shooter. He's got to be shooting the ball more than an average of 18 times per game as he has the last 2 games. You're going to need about 25 points at least out of Russell Westbrook. Wanted to mention also that when it comes to that particular series, we do think that Utah might be laying a little bit too much in their next game. They're laying, 6 points in Game 4, that game going on Monday. We'll talk a little bit more about that on Monday morning's report, let you know if we're going to stay with that side, the dog side of that particular game or not. Free play in the NBA for Sunday in a minute. We do have a 5-unit NBA play best bet going on Sunday's card. It's posted right now at DocSports.com. We'll also have a 4-unit play going on in Major League Baseball for Sunday. Again, fresh off the 7-unit winner yesterday, our 4-unit baseball plays 7-2 over the last almost 2 weeks now, 7-2 with those 4-unit plays. Looking at Sunday's baseball card, just want to talk a bit about the biggest movement, at least early on overnight going into Sunday morning. It happens to be on the San Diego Padres. They were as high as plus $1.79 earlier Saturday evening. They are now about plus $1.45. They've got the young lefty Lucchesi on the mound, just pitching tremendous baseball right now. And on the other mound, it's going to be, or not on the other mound, the same mound, but for the other side, his counterpart, Patrick Corbin for Arizona. Maybe a little bit of a letdown for Corbin as he came oh so close to a no-hitter in his last start. But that money from plus $1.79 all the way down to plus $1.45 in some shops as we cut this video. That's the biggest mover going into Sunday. Don't forget, again, that 4-unit baseball play on Sunday at DocSports.com when the 5-unit best bet in the NBA at DocSports.com. Free play today. The Raptors, they're about a 1.5 point favorite. Will lay up to 2 over the Wizards. Washington did change things up a bit on Toronto last time out. They got chippy. They got physical. Almost looked like I was watching a hockey playoff game, you know, an NHL playoff game, because it did get so chippy. They made it a physical affair. Toronto wasn't ready, but now they've had time to adjust. They'll be ready for whatever Washington throws at them, whether it be mucking it up with a physical game or maybe a more wide open game. Washington, of course, won that game by 19 points. I expect Toronto to get back on track, land in the win column, laying up to 2 points, our free play with the Toronto Raptors on Sunday. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget, put Sunday in the win column. We'll be right back here Monday before the crack of dawn. I'm Scott Spreitzer for DocSports.com. Have a great Sunday.